Now, imagine yourself in a situation considering where to go during weekends and vacations. Would you like to immerse yourself into the open sea and relieve all the troubles? If visiting the actual sea is unrealistic to you, I believe you might choose to visit the aquariums. Do you enjoy watching those animals performing? I did as well in the past. The fact is, the animals are suffering a lot from their captivity life, and with the beautiful rules set by the businessman, many people are still unaware of this. So, to protect the animals, at the same time, to protect the business made by the businessman, as well as still maintaining this kind of tourism attraction, I have three alternatives for sea animal performances, which are: first, alter aquarium structures; second, encourage natural contact; third, increase technological involvement. Trace back to the origin of aquarium industry. This industry itself is not harmful to the animals. We just need to take the essence and discard the dregs of such kind of industry and tourism attraction, which here I'm referring to only exhibit the appropriate type of fish, mollusk, and arthropod in the aquarium, instead of exhibiting those sea mammals. For the performing animals, they are tortured a lot by their training and living condition. In such kind of condition, they will develop a lot of unnatural behaviors, such as wall crashing, attempts to kill themselves, or they attempt to kill other people. Also, the sanitation of their living place is not guaranteed. Like you can see from this picture, the sea lions suffer from skin disease, and this is definitely something you want to see for the animals, right? But for fish, mollusks, and arthropods in the appropriate type, they have this kind of less complicated thoughts and requirement for survival. And you can see from their aesthetic view, they're not really ugly, right? So they can still attract a lot of tourist view and maintain the industry and business of aquariums. At the same time, viewing those fish, mollusk, and arthropod is not enough for people's satisfaction. They still want to see the sea mammals, right? So it is important for us to encourage the natural contact involved. Let's go back to the captivity. In captivity, whales and dolphins are trapped in an enclosure of only 72 cubic meter. This is definitely not enough for their daily swimming of at least 100 kilometers. And also, when stuck in such kind of captivity and hearing all those music playing around, the music played for the performance and the self-echoing of the animal can sharply harm their auditory system and annoy their mind and cause some mental problems. Just imagine yourself living in a place where construction work is going on and on. Don't you feel annoying? However, for whale watching and underwater diving, it can help the animals really engage in their natural habitat and swim how far as they wanted. Like they can swim freely around. And for the whale watching industry, they had already benefited 2.1 billion US dollar in 2009, and it started to take a gradual approach of eco-friendliness for reducing the loudness of whale watching ship. And also for underwater diving, which is very popular in coastal cities, and you might experience that in when visiting those cities. It is actually an attraction that can bring the affinity with people and animals, and at the same time not disturbing the animals' actual life. So those two ways are worthwhile for businessmen to consider of attracting more tourist view, and this can help the tourists have their satisfaction of actually seeing the marine mammals. Nowadays, people not only hope to see the reality, but they also want to see the reconstruction and enhancement of reality, which here I'm referring to technology. So for the view of sea animals, it is also important for us to increase the technological involvements. According to America's famous magazine Forbes, 2019 was the growth year of virtual reality and augmented reality, short-term as VR and AR. In 2020, those two technology are not only having the demands of entertainment, but they also started to get into the approach of education. Thinking about those two objectives, don't you think that is just appropriate for the sea animal experience? So for the technology companies to develop a lot of activities using VR and AR, it can encourage people to view the sea animal in such kind of reconstructed and enhanced way. And this kind of attraction can satisfy the people for viewing the animals at the same time not losing the income. Some people might say the sea animal performances are really attractive, and they can even teach people about valuable life lessons, just like how those two careers do, like the professional dancers and athletes. Don't they experience the same thing with animals? Like they train so hard and they are like experiencing a lot of cruelties. It's such an inspiring story of achieving the dream and demonstrate yourself. But thank you for your logic. This is not the whole story for the animals. Yes, I agree that those professional dancers and athletes, they train very hard apart from family since a young age. But as Dr. Naomi Rose suggested, to orcas, family is everything. Without the proper accompanying of family, the orcas can have their mind distorted and not fit into their community. For human, family separation isn't that heartbreaking and detrimental, right? Nevertheless, people chose the career because they really hope to devote themselves into such kind of cruel industry and develop themselves and make themselves shine. But for animals, they don't need to concern about this, and they don't need to concern about economical struggles of family just like people does in another perspective. In fact, the animals are forced to perform while being selected into the aquarium. And the rest of the animals, friends and family members, they're being killed, just like how they did in the Dolphin Cove of Taiji. Do you think this is happening to human as well? Definitely no. Sadly, due to the limitation of my platform, I think I'll not be able to share the information with you through this presentation opportunity, but I really want to like talk all the things out with you and see how far we can go for seeking for the best solution. I believe that this kind of feeling is similar to you when you're facing several changes, especially for the changes related to several big events, big and attractive events like the sea animal performances. Yes, sometimes change is hard to accept when it's related to something really attractive and bonds closely to your interest. But we need to consider the most good and least harm from various perspectives. In this case, for the animals, for the people like the businessmen and the tourists. So to sum up my previous points, to alter the aquarium structure, to increase more natural contact, and to increase more technological involvements can be three ways that can provide the animals, the people, with the most good and least harm. Thank you for listening.